Hello everyone. We will witness together how Weiwei and General Feng Xujin face challenges and protect their love in the ancient world. Chapter 20. In a huge and luxurious chamber, a figure can be seen talking to herself. Oh my god, that was my first kiss. I couldn't believe I'm having it in an unexpected situation. She rambled while holding her lips. She remembered the way the cold lips stilled against hers. Weiwei knew he is also surprised. But it is okay since he is my husband and also the person I like, right? Squealing around like the teen girl she is. Her day went by with her inside the room. Weiwei wouldn't go out. She didn't have the courage to face him. Few days passes by quickly. It was the day the princess going back. She has no choice but to send her at the front door. "Princess, please come back again when you have time," she said with a fake smile. Failed to hide her sour expression. The person besides only look at her amused by her words. "Yes, of course I will come back. My Xujin Gij is here." Princess Zheng'er deliberately said it out loud. The princess have seen how her Xujin Gij care for the worthless girl. She couldn't deny her heart fell apart when she saw that. But she is also glad that her Xujin Gij has someone by his side to take care of him. So she can rest assured if she leave him. "Princess, the time has come, let's go home. We need to get home before it's getting dark." An eunuch barged in and informed the princess. Glancing at the manor one last time, she looked at the men she admired the most. "Xujin Gij, please take care of yourself, I will miss you," she sadly said. Feng Xujin only nodded at her. When she finally left, the three of them stared at the palanquin disappearing from sight, glad that she finally left. "I'm a bit tired hearing her calling Xujin Gij. Xujin Gij," Zhao Li mocking her. But she is not that bad. Even though Weiwei don't really like her. But for her the princess is far from evil. Princess Zheng'er didn't even do anything to her. It's just that she likes her Xujin Gij so much. "Really? The other day you feel jealous because of her." Zhao Li teased her. When I didn't. You can ask Dakusin. He is the one who has accompanied me that day for whole." Before she could continue to fight Zhao Li, she is being stopped by someone. Feng Xujin's, who has been listening to their conversations. They keep on ignoring him like he is a piece of dirt. But when he heard Dakusin's name came out from her mouth, he lose it. Grabbing her waist possessively, and he pulled her towards him. His lips smashed against hers, as if trying to declare her as his. She was too shocked to react to his sudden action. She stood there unmoving, eyes widen. "Oh my virgin eyes. You all should keep it in your chamber." Zhao Li also didn't see this coming. But he quickly turned around after he saw his friend's shameless action. Hearing Zhao Li's voice, she quickly regained conscious. She tried to push Feng Xujin away, but his hands prevent her from moving. He feels like his well-trained self-control slowly slip away. His lips keep on punishing her passionately. When he feels she is short of breath, he let her go. Seeing her flushing face, he thought in his mind, "Mine only, what are you doing?" Weiwei feels so embarrassed that she is mad. All the guards saw his action. Did what a husband should do to his wife. Feng Xujin replied casually, "You," pointing at him while the other hand covering her lips. Weiwei feels so frustrated as she couldn't express her words out. Then she quickly sprint without looking back at him. First prince taking a concubine today. Weiwei and Feng Xujin is going to attend a ceremony of the first prince of the country taking another concubine. In the ancient era, it was normal to have a lot of wives as a prince. They held huge responsibilities. Since the Chinese culture is patrilineal, it was important for a couple to have a son. An heirless man could have additional wives to increase his chance of having a son. Weiwei personally don't like this culture. She is a normal girl who wouldn't want to share her husband with other girl. But since she is stuck in the ancient world, she couldn't do anything if her husband want to take a concubine. "I would get divorced rather than sharing my husband with others." Weiwei mumbled watching Zhao Mama fixing her hair for the event. "What are you talking about, madam?" Zhao Mama could see her madam face turn gloomy. Weiwei is wearing a light purple hanfu with some embroideries on it. On her head a butterfly hairpin stuck on it. "Nothing, Mama," she sighed heavily. Feng Xujin's carriage is too tall, so Weiwei struggled a bit trying to get on it. Before she could get on it, Suddenly a pair of hands hold her waist steadily and place her on top. She is currently looking down at the general. This is the first time someone actually looked down on him. She immediately thanked him. Jin, did you constantly go to the palace? She randomly asked him. No, I only went for work. Feng Xujin replied, looking at her. Weiwei then trying to snuck her head outside to see some bystanders. But her action was halted by a big hand. It is dangerous, don't do that again. He is worried about her safety these days. Feng Xujin has offended lots mok. Shen then looked down, fiddling her hands. After a sullen of silence, he suddenly spoke up. You look beautiful today, he shortly said these days. Feng Xujin struggled to keep his self-control at bay. He felt the urge to kiss her, seeing her cute face. Before this, he did not expect that he will also like a woman like a normal people. Only she can make him feel so crazy. After their first and second kiss, he is afraid of her reaction, so he tries to be more considerate. Think you look good too. Weiwei blushed really hard all of a sudden. Their carriage crashed a rock due to this. Weiwei accidentally crashed Feng Xujin. Sorry. I didn't mean that. Tapping her clothes, she went to sit back on her seat. But Feng Xujin suddenly get close to her. His face in front of her face too close. Weiwei's heart pounded in her chest as her knees got weaker. She froze, thinking that he wanted to kiss her. When his eyes met her, she quickly snapped out of her wits. Weiwei covered her lips in an instant. We are in a carriage, it is not proper if people saw. She nervously said. A small chuckle can be heard inside the palanquin. I don't care even if they saw you are my wife. And I was just trying to fix your hair a bit. Weiwei's face turned redder hearing that. She fanned her face, trying to cool down along the way to the palace. Chapter 21 The Palace. They arrived at the palace on time. Walking down the palace hallway, she tried to match his pace. Your Majesty, this general and my wife would like to congrats the royal family. Feng Xujin bow his head to give respect to the emperor. While Weiwei curtsy well. Jin feel very glad that the general is willing to attend. Weiwei, it has been a while. How are you, young lady? His Majesty questioned her. Your Majesty, I am good, everyone treat me nicely. Startled by His Majesty's sudden question, she quickly replied. All of the guests exchange some news with each other. Then all of them take their own seats. General, pardon me for not attending your marriage. Ben Wang is a bit busy. Luha, the first prince, casually spoke up. They have known each other since small. No problem, Your Highness. Congratulations on taking another concubine. Feng Xujin replies, offering a cup of tea. The lady beside you must be your wife, she is young. Lu Bao, third prince, the youngest one, said. Weiwei knew him. She had read about all the prince in the novel while flipping through the pages. Prince Lu Bao is one of the naughtiest character, but his plot is only shown a bit. You must be Prince Lu Bao, right? She asked, wanting to tease him a bit. Yes. Ben Wang thought you rarely goes out, so you don't know anyone. Prince Lu Bao feel curious about the lady who sits opposite him. She seems the same age of his. I might not know anyone else, but I won't forget about you. You are one of the cutest character. Weiwei accidentally blurted out again. Covering her mouth, Feng Xujin, who looked at her oddly. Really, maybe we could be friend. Ben Wang don't have much friends. Prince Lu Bao blushed so hard after hearing Weiwei's words. Weiwei only smiled awkwardly at Prince Lu Bao. General, your wife is indeed amusing and cute. Ben Wang envy you, Lu Qi. Second prince suddenly spoke up while sipping his tea. Lu Qi's vibe is quite different from his brother's. He is quite similar to Feng Xujin. But Ben Wang think one wife is not enough. And you're the great general. You should have children by now. Lu Qi is indicating that Feng Xujin need to take concubines. Hearing this, Weiwei's face turned cloudy. She had predicted it will come, but not too soon. Thank you for your highness's kind thoughts. But one wife is enough for me. Feng Xujin replied in a flat tone. After she heard what Feng Xujin said, her heart fluttered. She couldn't believe in this ancient era there's a man like him. Is it because Weiwei didn't give you permission? Is it like that, Weiwei? Luha, the first prince, all of a sudden cut in. Startled by His Highness' sudden question, she looked straight at him. Of course not, Your Highness. I am completely understand if General want to take a concubine. Li Weiwei said in a bitter tone. The heated atmosphere suddenly changed after the arrival of the foreign prince. Walking inside inglorious, he looked so different. A blue robes fits him perfectly. It was Daku-sen. Your Majesty, this prince greeted you. Royal father send his regards for you. Daku-sen is actually coming for his father's sake. He has refused, but his father insisted. How is your father? It has been a while since we met. His Majesty and Daku-sen's father can be considered as friends. Royal father is fine, Your Majesty. And I also would like to congratulate Daku-sen greet the first prince. He then proceeds to take a seat. But his eyes quickly catch a very familiar face. Li Weiwei, you're here also. We haven't met for a long time. Daku-sen went straight at her, ignoring the huge man beside her. Sen, you look very different today. She chuckled at him. Feng Xujin look at the way she smiles at Daku-sen. He feel jealous. Li Weiwei, you also knew Daku-sen? Prince Lu Bao asked. Yes, we met at the market. Li Weiwei said without any hesitation. Daku-sen then took a seat beside Li Weiwei. The first prince's concubine then come in to greet everyone. Sen, why didn't you tell me you were a prince? She whispered at him. Li Weiwei has no idea Daku-sen is a prince. She only know about his story with Jiang Liu. You didn't ask me. Then I should address you as Your Highness, right? I'm sorry for my imprudent act before this. No. Treat me like usual. I don't want you to treat me like others. Daku-sen is willing to let go his title to be with her. Okay then, but I have one question. Will you also have a lot of wife just like all this prince? She whispered quietly. Of course no. I will be faithful to one only. He looked at her intently and meaningfully. Good. All of them should take you as an example. It is unfair to ladies, she sighed. A hand suddenly grabbed her waist and pulled her closely to him. He didn't know Daku-sen is going to come. Jean, let me go, everyone is looking. Li Weiwei said in a small voice. I don't care. And you better sit near to me. Are you jealous? Li Weiwei only want to tease him a bit. Yes, I am. She wasn't expecting this answer. Li Weiwei unconsciously gulped her own saliva. Will you take any concubine? She really want to know if he meant everything that he said. Why, he said, looking at her, nothing. If you really want to take any concubine, probably in the future. Please promise me you will let me go. Li Weiwei carefully said. I will never let you go. You will always be my wife, Feng Xujin said sternly. He didn't expect she would say something like that. I'm just asking, don't be mad, she mumbled at him. Jiang Liu, who sits a bit far from them, feels so jealous, because Li Weiwei has the chance talking to all the men. It should be her. Your Majesty, since this is a good day, why don't we play some game? Her voice captured all the attention. Looking forward to what she's going to said. Permission given, His Majesty replied. How about all of us take part in archery? Whoever won, they will get a prize. Jiang Liu said loudly. Chapter 22, The Royal Field. Waiting for their turns. Li Weiwei is the only who feels so nervous that her hand sweats. How am I supposed to do it? I only knew how to play games on phone. Sighing heavily, she looked at all of them. They seem skillful. The first line of men will start first. All the princes. Her Jean and all the others will start the competition. Whoever win the first, second and third place will get a lady hairpin. They can give it to the lady they treasure. Cheers can be heard. Feng Xujin, as usual, look as calm as water. He is uninterested in this competition, but when he saw Daku-sen keep looking at his wife, he is determined to win. Jean fighting. Li Weiwei shouted at him while holding up her small fist. He looked and nodded at her. I will win it for her. Just you wait, Feng Xujin. Daku-sen make a vow in his mind. Competition will start now. Shoot. All of them pulled their arrow effortlessly, waiting for it to hit the point. Third prince. 9 point. First prince 9 point. And second prince. Prince Daku-sen and General hit bullseye. The guard waved the flag after saying it. Li Weiwei clapped loudly on the right side. Her husband is indeed amazing. All the ladies couldn't wait to get hairpins from them. The three of you did great. Come and claim your prize. His Majesty asked them to choose the hairpin that they like. Feng Xujin looked carefully at the hairpin. He doesn't know which to choose, but his eyes attracted to the white jade hairpin. Jean, you did great. You look so cool. Li Weiwei expressed her excitement while holding up her thumb. He looked at her and then give her the hairpin. This is for me, thank you, she smiled at him. You are my only wife, who should I give it to? Feng Xujin said. Daku-sin and Chi-er, who is the lady you want to gift it to? The emperor said while looking at both of them. I'm gonna give this to Miss Li Weiwei. Small gasps suddenly explode in the field. Giving it to a lady who is married was completely unethical. Daku-sin is well aware of this. And he has no intention on getting Li Weiwei's image get tarnished. On her wedding day, I didn't attend it. And Li Weiwei is my friend. This hairpin will vouch for my absence on that day. They feel a bit suspicious about it, but second Prince Lu Qi suddenly spoke up, dispersed all the assumptions. Ben Wang also would like to give it to Li Weiwei. As a gift for your wedding. Lu Qi suddenly feel curious about the lady. Even Daku-sin, the foreign prince, is attracted to her. Yeah, I thanked all the princes. At last it was the lady's turn. Jiang Liao has been waiting for this. All the ladies get ready. Li Weiwei look around nervously. She looked at Feng Xujin, but he didn't look at her. She thought he is sulking. Pull the bow. The guard give instructions. All the girls pulled the bow easily. They have taken lesson about archery. While Li Weiwei trying to figure out on how did they do it. Her small hands hold the bow. Lady's bow is lighter than men's. She put the arrow carefully on her hand. Shoot. Arrow ran towards the board direction. But Li Weiwei has yet pulled the arrow. She feels so embarrassed. All the ladies is looking at her. Daku-sin feel helpless looking at her conditions. He wanted to help her, but another figure went to her. How the heck do I pull this? God, just take me back. I feel so embarrassed, Li Weiwei said to herself. A hand suddenly helped to arrange her fingers. She looked back to see Feng Xujin holding her close to him. Jin, I thought you were sulking at me. Focus on the target and pull. He let go of his hands after fixing hers. Li Weiwei then pulled the bowstring with strength. The arrow sudden departed surprised her. Jiang Liao hit bullseye. He may hit bullseye. Li Weiwei hit 5 point. The rest of the announcement didn't go through Li Weiwei's ear. I really hit some points, oh my god. Not bad for the first time, Woho. She unconsciously did a winning ceremony, then hugged him. All his bad mood flew away after she hugged him. Therefore he hugged her back. Li Weiwei, you're not bad. Daku-sin suddenly approached her. You did great, Sin. You hit the bullseye. She sheepishly smiled at him. This lady greets Prince Daku-sin and General Feng Xujin. Jiang Liao spoke up. Feng Xujin only nodded without glancing at her. Sin, do you know Miss Jiang Liao? Li Weiwei is trying to become a cupid for them since they are destined to be together. No, this is my first time seeing her. Daku-sin said while looking at Jiang Liao. Jin, let's go. Give time for them to know each other. She said while dragging Feng Xujin away. They're suitable for each other, right? Li Weiwei smiled meaningfully, feeling like she has completed another plot in the novel. Weiwei, you really don't know Daku-sin like you. Feng Xujin asked in a low voice. What are you talking about? Why would he like me? He is destined to be with Jiang Liao. Li Weiwei laughed loudly at him. But he keep a straight face. Why did you keep talking like you already know all about everyone's fate? His question stopped her from laughing. She choked hearing his question. Li Weiwei sometimes forget that Feng Xujin is quick-witted. Telling him she comes from the future. He might believe I didn't, it's just a guess. Let's go home, I'm tired, Li Weiwei object firmly. Hoping he will believe. Chapter 23. After her endless blurting out secrets. She has been trying to be careful with her big mouth. Jin, tonight is the Lantern Festival. Do you want to come with me? Li Weiwei skipped happily to his study room. Arrived at his door. She saw her husband discussing work with Zhao Li. I'm sorry if I disturb you. She is about to walk away, a voice called her. I will come with you later. Tell the guards to prepare carriage. His words made her happy. Okay, I will go first. See you later. She ran away to find some pretty clothes for tonight. Oh, okay. Do you notice she sometimes say things we haven't heard before? Zhao Li looked at Feng Xujin with frown. You leave first, I got something to do. Feng Xujin ignored him. He knew she is different from others. But he couldn't tell what was it. Even if she is different, he don't care. She is the only woman he has ever loved in his whole life. Chang'an City. Walking with her husband in the capital for the first time makes her feel proud. The day started to get dark and the festival is about to start. All the people walk around with their loved one. Jin, look at the fireflies. Li Weiwei pointed it out. It is beautiful, right? The dark sky is dotted with countless small stars. The firefly sails like a silvery boat in the deep blue sea. Children's laughter can be heard. Some of them ran far away playing hide-and-seek. People are eating mooncakes. The old senior are looking at the moon, silently making a wish in their hearts. It is indeed beautiful, he said, looking at her. Feng Xujin has fall for her heart. Li Weiwei is wearing a light green hanfu with some flowers on it. She actually put some makeup on to look good in front of him. Old senior, where should we hang this lantern? She asked while picking 2 lanterns. Our tradition said that the higher you hang it, the better, and your wish will come true. The old senior said while giving back Li Weiwei's balance. Turning back to her Jin, she gave him one of the lantern. Before he could reject, she had already placed it on his hand. We should get a ladder, I want to go. Feng Xujin picked her up easily, flying towards the roof. That was awesome. I totally forgot you can fly, hee, she said while hanging her lantern. Put yours right there, let's make a wish. Li Weiwei then clasps her hands together and make a wish. If I'm not destined to be here, please keep him safe. Her heart feels so heavy making that wish. What did you wish for? She quickly looked at him after making a wish, but she found him looking straight at her. Nothing. What about you? Feng Xujin asked. It's just a normal wish. Li Weiwei avoiding his question. After a moment of silence, she asked him something. Jin, what if one day I suddenly went missing? She said, looking at his face, wanting to remember it in her mind, afraid if she is to return back. I will find you in every nook and cranny of this world. Feng Xujin is not joking when he said this. No one is going to take her away from him. Li Weiwei smiled, looking at her husband's charming face. He is looking at the sky intently, hearing his words. Her tears unintentionally slip from her eyes. She is unwilling to leave him before this. She is always begging to go home. But now her only heart is here in the ancient era. Why would you ask? He turned his face to look at her, but all of a sudden her small hands grab his face and pulled him towards her. Li Weiwei give him a peck on his lips. She knew she will leave him alone in the future by force. She was about to pull away, but his hand grabbed her waist. His lips brushed hers softly, delicately, like butterfly wings, just long enough that he could inhale her breath. Feel the warmth of her skin. The moon became the witness of the couple's romantic gesture. I love you, Feng Xujin. I hope I can stay by your side forever. Her tears escaped again. Li Weiwei is determined on enjoying her life while she is here. She is going to appreciate every single time. Zhao Mama, where is Jin? I haven't seen him since morning. She feels so odd not seeing him for a day. After their visit to the Lantern Festival last week, it has made them become more intimate. General and Master Zhao Li has gone to the palace. His Majesty has summoned them this morning. Zhao Mama smiled, looking at her Madam Worry face. Oh really, then I will go back to my room. Tell me when he is back. Chapter 24. Luxury tea private room. We have planned everything meticulously, Master. Once the general on his way to the military camp, we will ambush him. A man wearing all black kneeling in front of his master. Good, make sure there is no mistake this time. A rough voice sounded through his masks. His appearance shows that he is not normal people. They have been waiting for a chance to kill Feng Xujin. Deciding to kill him in the military camp was stupid, as there is a lot of his subordinate. So they plan on taking him down in the middle of the forests. Traps have been set all around the forest because they knew Feng Xujin's martial arts can take down hundreds of men. The palace court was filled with heavy atmosphere. All of them look very serious. Feng Xujin, you must go back to the military camp by tomorrow. Train the soldiers and prepare new strategies. His Majesty commanded him. Their enemy is nearing their border. So the emperor is worried about the people's safety. They must be prepared to attack back if a war happens. As a general, Feng Xujin will lead the country's soldiers. I understand, Your Majesty. Feng Xujin gives the emperor his respect before he leaves. General Feng Manor Jin, what about Li Weiwei? Will you take her with you? Zhao Li asked randomly. No, Feng Xujin replied shortly. They are currently in Feng Xujin's study room. Have you asked her? I don't think she will agree. Zhao Li said, I want to follow you. Another voice interrupted their conversation. It was Li Weiwei. Once she knew that Jin has came back from palace, she quickly went to his study room. She was about to leave when she saw Feng Xujin and Zhao Li discussing. But when she heard her name, she stopped and listened to it. Then I will leave first, Jin sorry. Zhao Li whispered the last sentence to Feng Xujin. Jin, I don't live in the manor alone. I want to go with you. Weiwei started as Feng Xujin keep his silence. No, in the military camp there is no lady. Feng Xujin said unhappily, but you are there. No one will disturb me, Jin please. Weiwei looked at him with big eyes. Trying to appeal, no. Ask for anything but not that one. Feng Xujin is worried about her safety. She glared at him unsatisfied. But she suddenly have an idea. I will definitely go to that freaking military camp. She internally smirked. I'm going to pack your things first. You finish your reading quickly and sleep early. Once she's done packing, she fall asleep very quick that she doesn't hear that Feng Xujin is back. He changed his clothes and went to the chamber, pulling her closer to him. Feng Xujin loved the way she smells. He inhaled her soft scent while hearing her soft snoring. Bye, Jin, be safe, see you when you come back. Weiwei waved sadly at her husband. After giving her a kiss on her forehead, he immediately ride on his horse. Just like that, Zhao Li and Feng Xujin moved to their destination. Weiwei peeked at them, making sure they are leaving. Zhao Mama, bring my clothes that I have packed yesterday. Madam, are you sure about this? General will be very mad if he knows. Zhao Mama tried to change Weiwei's mind. Thank you, Zhao Mama, don't worry about me. I will go to the military camp, not anywhere. Weiwei assured Zhao Mama. Shadow guard, let's go. A figure suddenly appeared. The shadow guard had rejected when Weiwei tell him about her plans. But when she insisted, he got no choice but to follow her instructions. Bye, Zhao Mama. Jin will be surprised when he saw me later, she said while sitting in the carriage, riding his horse dashing towards the forest. But Feng Xujin feels something is wrong. Stop. He said to Zhao Li, what is it? Jin, do you want to rest for a bit? Zhao Li asked, looking at him. Listen. Feng Xujin could hear footsteps from the bushes. They are under attack. Feng Xujin and Zhao Li jump off from their horse and leaping their sword towards their enemy. While chaos happened in the middle of the forest, Weiwei finally arrived at the location. Madam, we should go back. There's a fight happen in the front. The shadow guards know it was his master. But he couldn't let her madam get hurt. What happened? Weiwei snuck her head out from the carriage. It's Jin, what are you doing? Help him now. Both of the guards look at each other. What about you, madam? Master will be mad. I am okay. Just save him. Go. Weiwei lose her patience. Shadow guards then fly towards their master position. How did you come here? Zhao Li asked while avoiding his enemy swords. The swordsman martial arts is not really good, but the traps that they set was dangerous. We come with madam, she told us to help master. Feng Xujin didn't notice the shadow guards as he continued to fight. His move was flawless. Swords slashed through the enemy's neck without any hesitation. While Weiwei couldn't feel relaxed seeing the nerve-wracking scene. Her heart dropped when small blades were being thrown towards Feng Xujin's direction. Adrenaline coursed through her veins, running so fast that she thought her legs were going to explode. Jin, she covered his body with hers. Hearing her voice, he quickly turned around and grabbed her away. The blade slowly pierced into his right side retreat. The enemy's retreat, seeing the target has been hurt. The blade contained poison. Jin. Zhao Li rushed towards them all of a sudden. Feng Xujin's knees feel so weak. He rests his chin on her shoulder. Jin. The blade has poison. Weiwei look at the black blood on her hand. No, not now. It wasn't supposed to be like this. She cried out. Her bottom lips quivered. Don't cry. I'm okay. What are you doing here? What if something happened to you? Feng Xujin sternly said in a weak tone. Shadow guards, call the physicians now. Weiwei hold him close to her, trying to stop his blood. Weiwei, let me help Jin. The military camp is near, let's go. Zhao Li also worried about his friend, but he tried to hide it. He knows Feng Xujin will be okay. Chapter 25. I am so sorry, madam. This poison were blended with several harmful animal toxins. This kind of case has never occurred, so I am incompetent. We also couldn't pull the blade directly. It will spread even faster. The physician's face has turned gray. It is okay, we will find other way. Zhao Li trying to assure Li Weiwei. He then left to look for some way. A solemn tear fell down her cheek. Her body looked calm compared to how tangled her mind was. I'm gonna cure you no matter what. She is more likely trying to assure herself. Stop crying, Feng Xujin said weakly. He has never felt this weak. The poison started to take over his body. Will you trust me? If I said I need to cut your skin a bit to take out the blade? After a long consideration, she has decided to do a small surgery. In the university, she is a medical student, and she is in her intern phase. Li Weiwei has done a few stitches and small surgery. She is willing to do it to save her husband's life. Even the chances was too low. With no proper surgical equipment, I trust you. Feng Xujin replied shortly. Zhao Li, bring some clean clothes with small blade alcohol, candles and a big bowl of water now. Li Weiwei is currently sitting in front of a mirror. Looking at her swollen eyes, she tried to calm down. Holding the small blade, she then cleaned it with alcohol. It was to remove all the bacteria. She looked at her husband's pale face, trying not to cry. Li Weiwei, are you sure about what you were doing? Zhao Li has never seen this kind of treatment. Just let her do it, I believe her. Feng Xujin whispered, bite this, it will hurt a lot. Li Weiwei said, giving him a fabric. But he only shook his head. Slowly the sharp blade pierced in his skin. She only cut a bit to take out the blade without any complications, using the rags to clean the rest of the poisons and his blood. She then bandaged his wound with some medicine's leaves. Li Weiwei feel glad his wound is not big, so she didn't need to stitch it. Plus, in this dynasty, the silk suture has yet been invented. Drink this. It will help to stop the poison from spreading. She fed him the medicine. Mom and Dad, thank you for nagging me to take medical course. I owe you, she cried internally. Do you feel better? Just sleep a bit, I will go out to find the antidote. She kissed his forehead before she left. I'm going out to find some medicines plant. Take care of him, she told Zhao Li. Zhao Li looked at the lady in front of him, look lifeless. The always cheerful girl drastically changed. You, how could you do this? He has never done anything wrong. It was unfair for both of us. Li Weiwei loudly cursed, pointing at the sky. I thought you sent me to save him. But you nearly get him killed today. The thunder suddenly booming through the sky. Now you want to scare me, huh? I am someone who transmigrates, so what do I even afraid of? Li Weiwei has never been this enraged. Her husband was about to die and she don't know what to do. Li Weiwei, are you okay? The sudden appearance of another voice scared her to the core. Sin, you scared me, and how long have you been there? She is afraid he listened to everything that she said. I've just arrived. I tried to find you at the manor, but they said you are here, so I came here. Daku Sin has stand near her long enough to hear everything that she screamed. He understand every single words. But he tried to shake it off. But I don't have much time right now. If you have anything to say, can you please wait later? Li Weiwei couldn't waste any time more. Looking at her swollen eyes, Daku Sin sighed heavily. He knew she loved Feng Xujin, but his heart wouldn't give up on her. I've heard about him. Do you know 1,000 Years Lotus Flower? Daku Sin has no intention on saving Feng Xujin, but he couldn't bear to see Li Weiwei's gloomy face. You mean the plant that can cure every poison? She accidentally heard about this as she always walking through the capital. Yes, it was in this jungle, but in a cave. Daku Sin has no choice but to tell her. Thank you so much, Sin, you helped me a lot. Li Weiwei instantly grabbed his hand and shake it. But Daku Sin feel the other way around. This is the first time a lady held his hand. He might be known as player, but he has never touched all the lady. He went there because he has no one to talk to. He stood there frozen. Daku Sin snapped out of his thought when Li Weiwei was about to leave. I will accompany you. This is the only time he can be with her. Chapter 26. Cave in the jungle. There inside of the cave, sounds of bats flying around can be heard. Inside the cave was a complete mess. Suddenly the cave vibrated. Winds started to blow harder, pushing both of them. Li Weiwei. Daku Sin looked at her petite body sways due to the obstruction. Out of nowhere, a big pillar came down and separated both of them. Sin, be careful. After both of them separated, the destruction seemed to stop. Li Weiwei is in the other side of the cave. It seems like a small jungle. Full of flowers and plants, what are you doing here? A loud booming voice startled her. An old master suddenly came out. He is the owner of the cave. The old man has sensed the arrival of other human the moment Li Weiwei and Daku-san step inside. Old senior, is this your place? Li Weiwei wastes no time. Yes. What are you doing here? The old man asked dangerously. I'm here to pick 1 petals of 1,000 years lotus flower. My husband, the general, has been poisoned. Li Weiwei replied without any hesitation. You can't. The flower is too precious. It was my hard work. Now go back. The old man walked away from her. Old senior, I'm begging you, I will do anything. Li Weiwei was desperate. The old man smirked. He knows everything about Li Weiwei's identity. You are not from this world, isn't it? Li Weiwei surprised hearing this. How do you know that? Trying to change his destiny has make your time lessen up. You are going back soon. Her heart dropped hearing it. She couldn't believe her ears. This is too soon. Even if I go back, it is okay as long as he is safe. Don't be greedy, Li Weiwei. Today incident happened is because of you. He was supposed to die next year, not today. His fate has changed. He need to die by the end of today. Fortunately, you have the skills to stop the poison. The old man continues. So it was because of me. Tears escape her eyes. Then let me save him. You do know if he dies, no one will protect the country. All of you will die because of the war. I swear if he couldn't live, all of you wouldn't too. She is extremely furious. Looking at the enraged lady in front of him, he finally gave in. He remembered her daughter who died because of his own greediness. The old man led his hand towards her direction, and suddenly a petals of flower appears on his hands. Use it, we will meet again soon. The old man disappeared. Thank you, old man. She cried out in front of military camp. Sin, thank you so much for helping me. I will definitely repay you. I will go inside first. Li Weiwei rushing into the military camp. Daku-san looked at her figure slowly vanish from his vision. He is wondering how did she manage to get the flowers. Li Weiwei, you are back. Zheng'er is unconscious. Zhao Li approached her worriedly. I've got the antidote. Let's save Jin. She said, trying to put on a smile, trying to forget all the old man words. Li Weiwei saw Feng Xujin was unconscious, so she took the boiled flowers petals in her own mouth. It was so bitter, opening his mouth a little. She then used her mouth to give him the antidote. Then seems like Zheng'er will be fine. I will go out first. Zhao Li feel awkward looking at her gesture. She only nodded, sensing there is no one in the room. Li Weiwei lay her head carefully on his chest, avoiding his wound, looking at his pale face. Li Weiwei could hold the heartbreak no longer, and tears trickled her cheek. This happened because of me. I am so sorry, but I'm glad I can save you and you won't face any death situation in the future. And you know what, I'm going back soon. Please live your life the way you want. Don't force yourself too much. Trying to stop herself from sobbing. Suddenly Feng Xujin's eyes fluttered open. He looked at his wife who has been crying. Come here. I'm okay, don't cry, he said, pulling her close to him. It's just some dust getting inside my eyes. Also, this happened because of me. She make excuses, avoiding his eyes. Wiping her tears gently, he roughly said. Stop saying that. If I didn't notice that you are trying to save me, you would be the one who will be hurt. Not wanting to imagine if she is the one who has been poisoned. But your life is too invaluable. You need to protect our people and the country. Promise me you won't use your own life to protect me again. Li Weiwei sternly said. But if you're the one who gets hurt, I might not be able to keep my sane, let alone taking care of this country. Feng Xujin replied, looking at her wet eyes. No. Listen, promise me. You must be strong even if any hard circumstances came to you. She gave him her pinky finger, then grabbed his to tangled it around hers. He didn't said anything but hugged her closer to him. Feng Xujin was thinking about every single thing that she said while he is half conscious. When it happened, he thought it was just his imagination. But the moment he opened his eyes, Li Weiwei with tears making him realize it's real. Chapter 27, A Small Hut in the Forest. You all are useless. How could you miss this opportunity? The man sitting on the table roared at his subordinates. Master, we have injured him with poison. He is supposed to die by the end of today. They said nervously. Then what happened? Why hasn't he dead yet? The masked man couldn't contain his anger. It was his last chance to kill Feng Xujin. Our people told us Miss Li Weiwei is the one who saved him. What Li Weiwei? What did the petite lady do to save a very heavily poisoned man? He is feeling more curious about Li Weiwei. If she is not there, Feng Xujin would be dead. Li Weiwei, you ruined my plan. But your talent can't be wasted. You should be with me instead. The man smirked inside of his masked military camp. It has been 4 days since Feng Xujin got hurt. All the soldiers was worried about him. But they didn't say nor do anything they couldn't. But today, Feng Xujin's sudden appearance relieved all of them. When all the soldiers want to salute him, he quickly excused them with hand signal. Today, all of you will have a day off. Hearing this, the soldiers want to cheer, but Feng Xujin's deep, toneless voice make them nervous. Starting from tomorrow, there is no rest day. Go rest now, so this is it. Today is the only day they could get his leniency. And also move quietly. Li Weiwei has been taking care of him for days without any rest, so he forced her to sleep. With that, all the soldiers dispersed. All of them quickly shower, eat, and then sleep. They heard about rumors that General love his wife very much. It seems like the rumors is the truth. Feng Xujin entered his private camp and cautiously sit on the bed. Before leaving, he placed a kiss on her forehead. He then went to the march site. She can hear some footsteps around. Li Weiwei feels so tired, but she opened her eyes anyway. Why are there so many people? Her eyes wander around the chamber. I'm at the military camp, but where is Jin? He should rest, she slapped her own forehead. Running outside, she found everyone is looking straight at her. She coughed awkwardly, then asked them where is Jin. I mean the general. She has get used to the nickname already. The soldiers gaped when she came out. No wonder the general treasure her. Her beauty is one of a kind. But they replied together when they heard the general's nickname. Without any delay, all of them pointed to one direction. She thanked them and walked towards their pointed-out location. From a small distance, she could see her husband reading a mountain of scrolls. Feng Xujin doesn't seem like someone who has been poisoned. His expression was impossible to discern. But his form was tall and dashing. In his black robes, he looked both mysterious and majestic as he emitted an aura of menacing. Jin, why didn't you wake up? And you should rest. Your wound hasn't completely healed yet. Didn't want to get caught checking him up. Li Weiwei make up a question. She immediately take a seat beside him. Feng Xujin look at Li Weiwei, smiling a bit. Got rest, I will help you a bit later. I might not good, but I'm a fast learner. She is indeed not familiar with all the scrolls. But she will try looking at her husband. She is reminded by a modern way to distract someone. Li Weiwei, what are you so shy about? He is your rightfully husband. And you have kissed him a lot before. She is fully aware that her husband has a very great self-control. But he is also a man with needs. With that thought in her mind, she suddenly grabbed his face with her small hand, giving him a peck on his lips. The gesture caught his completely off guard. Before he could say anything, Li Weiwei already sprinting out while yelling, if you don't come and rest now, you don't get any kisses in the future. Li Weiwei quickly pretended to sleep when she heard someone is coming. It was obviously her husband Jin. Changing into his sleeping robe, Feng Xujin knew she is pretending to be asleep. Wanting to tease her, he towered over her petite body, holding her hand to the side. Well, what are you doing? Be careful with your wound, she nervously said it. It has healed, Feng Xujin said shortly. His eyes darkened looking at her sleeping state. She started to ramble randomly when her lips suddenly got shut by a cold lips. Li Weiwei felt his lips brushed hers softly and delicately. He expertly moved his lips against her lips. He slowly felt like his self-control slowly slip away, giving her one last peck. He could feel the warmth of her skin, and the taste of her still lingered. I couldn't help myself, I'm sorry. Feng Xujin's voice became so dark and deep. She saw the way his eyes turned darker. Li Weiwei loved him, so she tried to take it to next phase. I'm ready. Li Weiwei held his face saying that. He smiled softly at her. Feng Xujin slowly said, I love you, Li Weiwei. She is so surprised at his sudden confession. Li Weiwei replied, I love you too, Jin. Feng Xujin once again pinned her small body and kissed her hungrily. That night the two of them finally consummated their marriage. Chapter 28 Military Camp. Come back home as soon as you're done. she dejectedly said, looking up at him. Feng Xujin has forced her to go back after a week living in the military camp. I will and don't wander aimlessly in the capital. It is dangerous. Li Weiwei just nodded, hearing him nagging. She was about to ride the carriage when he suddenly pulled her. Feng Xujin kissed her forehead and she hugged him with a smile. Bye, take care of yourself. Li Weiwei waved at him through the window. In the middle of the capital, an eunuch suddenly appeared out of nowhere. Miss, he tried to catch his breath. Who is it, Shadow Guard? She wondered who is outside of her palanquin. Madam, His Majesty has summoned you to the palace. The Shadow Guard said when Li Weiwei asked why. She asked curiously. I don't know, and the eunuch also don't know. Then let's go to the palace. We couldn't let His Majesty wait for us. Li Weiwei gives instructions. She don't want to face the Emperor wrath for being late. The palace, Li Weiwei, greet your Majesty. She said with her mind wandering, why did she being summoned? Get up, how's Feng Xujin? His Majesty has heard about his condition. Fortunately, he is getting healthy, your Majesty. Li Weiwei said with a hint of relief. Good. Jin also heard that you're the one who saved him. Rumors about Li Weiwei's abilities has been spread. No, but yes. I mean, I just did what I'm obliged to do because he is my husband. And Sin also. I mean, His Highness Prince Daku Sin also helped me on saving General. The Emperor was surprised. Daku Sin. What is he still doing here? Jin thought he has gone back, His Majesty muttered. Anyway, you have saved our country, General. Jin will definitely reward you. She then thanked him and the Emperor let her leave. For I thought it was something important. Li Weiwei said, putting her hand near her heart. She is walking outside of the court palace when a shadow suddenly blocking her way. Your Highness, I am sorry for not noticing you. She looked at the prince and quickly apologized. Li Weiwei was about to leave when suddenly the prince spoke up. Ben Wang wants to talk to for a second. The second prince, Lucci said, or more like an order. Got no choice, so she followed him to the courtyard. Lucci poured her a glass of tea. What did you want to talk to me, Your Highness? She feels so curious. I heard Xujin is sick. How's he now? Lucci suddenly asked while sipping his tea. He is good, no harm. Li Weiwei replied shortly, wanting to go back to the manor. But we won't know what will happen soon. The way his voice changed scared her. It sent a scary chill. He is going to die soon. No one will know. This is one of the lines that she had read in the book. Her mind stuck at Lucci's words. It's similar, she murmurs to herself. One of Feng Xujin's close people. No one else dared to betray him except someone who is in a higher position. It was him, Lucci. Her brain cells finally connected, looking up at him. She realized his expression wasn't a worried face. So, it's you are the one who hurt Jin. Li Weiwei muttered enough for Lucci to hear. It is indeed me. He has no intention on hiding his real identity because he wants her to become his accomplice. How could you do this? You have been friends with him since childhood. She couldn't contain her anger that she stand up and pointed her index finger at him. There is no friend in this world. And Feng Xujin has taken everything that was supposed to be mine. He needs to die. The always calm prince finally revealed his true self. What did he take from you? Tell me nothing. You are just obsessed with him. She also raised her voice. The military power was supposed to be mine. So that was it if you're competent enough. His Majesty would have gave it to you. But you're not hearing her snickered, making him really mad. Lucci suddenly grabbed her using both his hands. Their position would cause Feng Xujin wearing a green hat. His face were so close to hers. Li Weiwei was very surprised, but she tried to get away from him. You also will be mine. His words shocked the hell out of her. Rage flowed through her like lava and it overpowered her. Li Weiwei don't know where she get the strength. Sounds of slap echoed through the courtyard. Her palm was bright red. The same red mark matched the one on his face. Even if you are the only man left in this world, I will never be with you, and one more thing. You've hurt him, so I definitely will repay you back 2 times. She left once she said that. Lucci looked at the petite lady. He has never been this furious. She even dared to slap him. He is going to teach her some lesson. General Feng Manor. I couldn't believe my first experience of slapping would be on a prince's face. Li Weiwei laughed, remembering his angry face when she slapped her. But what if he reported it to His Majesty? But he deserves it, she sprung out of her bed. Injuring a royal family's face deserves a death punishment. No, right, he is not that petty, right? Ho, she laughed nervously. I'm just gonna think about it later. Let's sleep first. Chapter 29 Military Camp Zheng'er. Zheng'er hot news. Zhao Li rushing inside of Feng Xujin's private room. He looked very breathless. What is it? Feng Xujin said without looking up. It has been 4 days since Li Weiwei left and he has no mood. Great news and bad news, which one do you want to hear? Zhao Li want him to choose before he reveal it. Great, Feng Xujin shortly said. His Majesty has allowed us to go back. He said our enemies had retreat once they heard that you're not dead. Someone has ordered the Mongolians to attack the border once I'm dead. The poison and the Mongolians has connection. Feng Xujin said, casually looking at the scroll. Zheng'er, what you mean is our people cooperate with the Mongolians. There's a spy in our country. Zhao Li couldn't contain his surprise. What is the bad news? Before Zhao Li could speak more, Feng Xujin cut him off. It's just Li Weiwei slapped in the face. Zhao Li said, not looking at him speak properly. When he heard Li Weiwei's name, he is worried. Li Weiwei slapped His Highness Lu Qi in the face. Zhao Li emphasized every word's what. Feng Xujin don't know how to react. Our shadow guard saw it fortunately. Lu Qi is gentleman enough not telling it to His Majesty. Zhao Li exhaled in relief. But our shadow guards didn't say why Li Weiwei did that. They said it is proper if you ask Li Weiwei herself. Zhao Li added. Let's wrap up everything here and get back to the manor. Feng Xujin said without any delay. General Feng Manor, madam, the general is back. Zhao Mama barged into her chamber. Really? Li Weiwei sprint hearing the news. Jin. Where you at? She screamed while skipping down the path. When she saw him at the front door, she ran towards him. Weiwei, don't run. Feng Xujin's words were cut off by a sudden crushing hug. I missed you. Li Weiwei mumbled against his chest while inhaling his faint masculine scent. I missed you too. He kissed her head while stroking it a bit. You should rest first, you must be really tired. And you too, Zhao Li, she said, not forgetting Zhao Li, who keep whistling while looking around. I will take my leave first, you two enjoy. Zhao Li said with a hidden meaning. I will ask Zhao Mama to prepare some food for you. You sleep for a bit. Li Weiwei said while preparing the antique bed for him. Suddenly a pair of hands snaked around her small waist. She turned her head to his direction and found him looking at her intently. Why did you slap? Lu Qi's question surprised her. Her eyes enlarged. Yeah. It's just that I saw mosquitoes on his face, that's why. She is aware that he won't believe it. But Li Weiwei feel a bit relieved he couldn't see her expression. Don't want him to know about the truth. He would be furious if he knows you're bad at lying. I will ask shadow guards later. Feng Xujin turned her around and his black eyes stared straight into hers. No, I will tell you the truth. She inhaled heavily. Don't know how to explain. He suddenly pulled me into his embrace. I was also surprised. Li Weiwei finally said, waiting for his reaction. Hearing it, rage pounded in him like a drumbeat. He trembled with rage, but he tried to hide it. Feng Xujin don't want to scared her. What else? His voice were rough and deep with glint of anger visible. Jin, don't be mad, I already slapped him. She don't want him to fight with a prince. Nonetheless, the emperor would have back up his own son. What did he say? It was more like an order for Li Weiwei to tell him. He said he will have me. But I think he is just joking. Why would he want me, right? There are prettier ladies out there. Don't take his words seriously. She exhaled heavily after rambling it. Li Weiwei was going to keep it a secret, but Feng Xujin seems to know everything. He is not, Feng Xujin said shortly, trying to keep his rage unknown, but it was obvious. What do you mean? Li Weiwei looked at him in confusion. A prince don't do jokes. She is dumbfounded. Li Weiwei don't know how to convince him. All of a sudden he let go of her. Before he could leave, a small hand wrap around him. Jin, don't go. She want to tell him about Lu Qi involvement in his poison case, but in this situation it is not a good timing. If you go, I will sulk. Li Weiwei don't have any choice but to threaten him. Feng Xujin has no intention on fighting with Lu Qi. He is still rational enough. He just want to take a moment to calm his beast side. If he confronted Lu Qi this moment, All the attention will turn to his wife. They will take her as his weakness. Feng Xujin don't want that to happen. He don't want her to be in danger. Never in a million years the palace court. Rest at your manor, no need to report. His Majesty said, knowing Feng Xujin came to pay respect. Thank you for your kindness, your Majesty. Feng Xujin bowed bit. Zhen also have rewarded Li Weiwei as she has saved you. The rewards had arrived yesterday. And Li Weiwei was all over the moon. Who don't like gold and jewelry? I would like to thank you on Weiwei's behalf. Feng Xujin replied, you shouldn't waste her talent. Maybe she could become royal physician. The emperor suggested. Feng Xujin thought he has stopped all the rumors about Li Weiwei's talent on treating illness. But he failed. My wife has once said she will only treat our people as a lot of them couldn't afford the fees. Feng Xujin had read Li Weiwei bucket list. At first he don't know what is the bucket list, but he figured it out not long ago. Feng Xujin has read that she loved traveling. But he is not someone who could give her all that. He is tied with the country's safety good. Then Zhen will host a special treatment day for Li Weiwei in the capital. His Majesty feels satisfied with his decision. Today we shared the sweetness and tears of the General's Cherished one. Hoping this story brings you inspiration and emotion. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.